Hi guys, thanks for visiting my channel. Today we're going to do something really special. I'm going to show you a great way to use up leftover Thanksgiving turkey. Now I do have to preface this whole video by saying up front that this is not a healthy recipe by any stretch of the imagination. This is a pure indulgent recipe. Even though it has turkey, which is technically healthy for you, nothing else in it is. So anyway, we're going to make a Kentucky hot brown. Now my husband's family is from Kentucky, so I learned how to make this from them. I know there are different versions floating out there, but this is how his family makes it, and you don't mess with family recipes. So we're gonna make it the way his family makes it and the way that I learned to make it and the way my family loves it. It's something that they look forward to the day after Thanksgiving every year. So you're gonna need your leftover roasted turkey, you're gonna need some bacon, and you're going to need toast, whatever kind of bread you like. We always use white bread because that is part of the recipe. And then you're going to need a cheese sauce. Now, I know how people feel about Velveeta, but that is what they use to make their cheese sauce. And like I said, you don't mess with the family recipe. I don't want to get lynched, so we're going to do it the way that they do it. If you would like to make a cheese sauce a different way, that's entirely up to you, but I'm going to be using Velveeta, so I'll just say that up front. And honestly, I think Velveeta has its place. There's nothing quite as melty as Velveeta is, and it does make a delicious cheese sauce. So I'll leave it up to you. The method is still the same. Whatever cheese sauce that you make, it's still going to be the same. And then you know how I always talk about how life is about balance, right? So on the side, we always have either asparagus or broccoli. So there you go. There's the healthy part of it, and it kind of balances out the rest that's not so good for you. So any type of cheese-loving vegetable would be great on the side. So I've already got my turkey roasted. I've already cooked my bacon, so we're going to get started on the cheese sauce. Okay, we are going to start by making our cheese sauce. I have 2 tablespoons of butter in my pan that is melted. And now we are going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. We're going to make a standard roux. That's how you make it's the start of any cheese sauce or cream sauce. And you just want to cook that for about a minute or so. We want to cook off the raw flour flavor. And then we're going to add 2 cups of milk. And whisk that in. And then we are going to bring this up to a simmer and let it simmer until the sauce starts to thicken, and then we can add our cheese. And you want to keep it on about a medium heat here, and you want to whisk frequently. You want to make sure that nothing burns. We don't want any burnt milk or cheese in our cheese sauce. Okay, I'm gonna let that simmer, and I'm gonna cube my cheese, and when we come back, we'll melt our cheese into our cream sauce. Okay, you can see that our sauce is starting to bubble up a little bit, and you can feel with your whisk that it's starting to thicken, and you just want it to bubble gently simmer for just a minute or so, just until it starts to feel like it's thickening up. Once we get there, we're gonna turn the heat down just a little bit more and start adding our cubes of cheese. Now I'm going to be using about a pound of Velveeta that I've cubed, but you can use whatever cheese you want. And then we're just going to let that gently melt into the cream sauce. And just add a few cubes at a time. Don't let it come to a boil, and you don't want it to simmer hard. You just want it to be a gentle, very gentle heat. All right, I'm going to keep adding my cheese and keep stirring. You want to make sure you stir frequently. Again, we don't want any burnt cheese in our cheese sauce. So stir frequently, keep adding your cubes until everything's nice and melted, and then we're going to add a few seasonings, and then we're ready to put our hot brown together. Okay guys, our cheese sauce is just about done. I have just one more piece I think that needs to melt a little bit more. You don't want your cheese sauce too thick because it will thicken as it cools, so you want it to be nice and pourable. But when your all of your cheese is just about all melted, and this is optional, but I found that it really adds to the flavor, we're gonna add just about a teaspoon or so of seasoned salt and some garlic powder, just to jazz it up just a little bit. And then we're gonna stir that in, and then we are ready to assemble our sandwich. Okay, here we go. Start with your toast. Now, I did use whole wheat white bread, if that makes anyone feel better. Makes it a little healthier, right? And then on top of your toast, you're going to add your turkey. However much you like, pile it up if you want to. And then we're going to add some bacon. 1 to 2 slices of bacon. And I forgot to mention that you could use turkey bacon here if that makes you feel any better about eating this. And then here's our balance. We're going to add a little bit of green veg on the side. We've got our asparagus. And then you ladle the delicious cheese sauce across the whole thing. Now, if you're like my husband, he drowns his. I don't necessarily like mine drowned, but that's pretty good for me. But isn't that amazing? It is, I promise you, this combination is so delicious. And it's a fork and knife sandwich, obviously. Open face fork and knife sandwich. Just, you want to make sure you get a little bit of everything in your bite. A little bit of bacon, a little bit of turkey, and a whole lot of cheese. Doesn't that look delicious? Mm-mm. And then for good measure, a bite of your veg. Mm-mm. So delicious. So what do you think about that? Is that a delicious way to use up leftover turkey or what? I hope you'll give it a try. Like I said, I didn't know anything about Kentucky hot browns. I am from Ohio. I'm an Ohio girl. So when I married Alan and they had this every, each Thanksgiving, the day after is when we usually have these. It was something that everyone looks forward to. So I hope you'll give it a try. If you have any questions or comments, leave them for me in the comment section. And remember, life is always about balance. It never hurts to indulge in something really yummy every once in a while. So give this a try. Have a great day, you guys, and I'll see you next time.